Alrighty, so this is Deuce We the People News. Alright. This is really of this case law more of anything else. But this come from Rick W. Paperwork. Don't know the full, let's see here. Maybe we get a little bit more deal. Well, if you could read that, there you go. Okay. Anyway, Mulberry versus Madison. Okay. In short, it's got good parts, is what you're seeing now. But the overall view of it is this case right here is what judges gave their cells power that they rightfully do not have. And ever since then, they've been running amok. Okay, because they think they have all these magic powers that they don't have. But because we always use attorneys, they're not going to contest it. It's up to the people to do these things and contest it in the Supreme Courts. And of course, you never know. When you go into courts, you're going to have to go in with the right standing and in the right venue. Okay, let's go with property tax. I'll show another video on that, right? When you go in there and say you are a taxpayer, the judges do not have a choice but the rule to take your property, let the county take your property because you walked in there in the wrong venue. You had the wrong standing. You went in there and freely admit that you was a taxpayer. So therefore, the judge had no choice but to rule on your town or county's behalf because you was in the wrong standing. You go in there and be in the right standing, you to challenge. How did I become a taxpayer? I'm in this court standing that I am not, with my evidence, a taxpayer. Okay? Because all taxes is volunteering. Okay? It don't matter if it's federal taxes, your local taxes, and all that, because the taxes does not apply to the people. It applies only to the business entities, whether it's foreign, domestic. But we're under the illusion, due to trickery of words, that our legislatures and attorneys, which mostly is attorneys now, right? They use trickery of words saying you are. And when you contest this and you fight it and rebut it, they still put on their documents you are a taxpayer. You always got to rebut that you're a taxpayer. People, that's how you have your standing and put the courts in the correct venue. Okay? It's going to have to be in federal court. I'm here to tell you. So this is going to be a government does not like to surrender their banknotes. All right, let's go.
Leave that alone. That's something else to look up. If you have nothing better to do, start looking up Solicitor General. Every state has one, and we have one in the United States. And they're supposed to make sure that all the laws are constitutional, but they rarely do. Anyway.
All states, Solicitor General. So look up that, like he said.
To be valid, it is impossible for a law, right? It is impossible for a law which violates the Constitution to be valid. So all of these child support laws that deprive you of your trial by jury, it's illegal. It's unlawful. Okay? This is succinctly stated as following. All laws which are repugnant to the Constitution are null and void. A very famous case. Most of you out there that have done your research, you've heard of Mulberry versus Madison. 1803, still being cited, has never been overturned.
All right, so like you said, doing it short, but I wanted to bring this up because there is cases that you can bring to help you in your process and in your standing. Okay, um, we'll go for instance. What's the ATF doing nowadays? Right? They're creating rules. Well, how does that rule apply to you if the Second Amendment says not to be infringed? Right? Uh, most of the attorneys and all that is arguing the statutory jurisdiction. Okay, they're not really arguing really the Second Amendment and not arguing is this or is this statutory not uh, infringement. They're just all going by statutories. So even though the Supreme Courts are doing good things and backtracking on a lot of things here lately, all right, everybody's still arguing in the wrong venue, in the wrong standing. Okay? So we always got to remember when we go to court, what is your stand? Okay? If you argue that you are in the statutory system, then you are bound to the statutory system. The Constitution does not apply to you. Right? The Constitution is not what gives you rights. The Constitution is a do not trespass upon your rights without first due process, and then it goes through there and gives you a line. 5 elements to a warrant. They all 5 must be there. But remember, it says a particular place, a particular thing. Okay? Judges don't get to just issue a warrant and say ramshack your house. They got to be more specific. But because we're arguing in the wrong standing in court, right? The attorneys are playing these stupid games. Okay? They should know this. And if they don't know it, then it's ignorance of the law of the attorney that you're paying for, people. All right? And my couple of videos back, I showed you a little bit how these attorneys and judges are working against us, even though you call them out on their crap. All right? We're on the wrong venue. We got to stand, not say, oh, I have a Second Amendment right. No, you have an alienable right, but you're violating your contract, I guess your social contract of the Second Amendment, saying it cannot be infringed, but you created a statute to bypass the Constitution. Now, how in the world did you get involved in a statute when it applies to them, right? Well, you're not allowed to have machine guns. Well, and there's a statute on it, right? That actually applies to the government officials, but they come out with machine guns? No, it's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be against the agency. They just pass the buck to you due to our ignorance. All right, not attorney, not giving legal advice. Do your own research. All right, this is a learning video, no more, no less. Got to cover that butt, okay? You know how they are. All right, Diesel for We the People News. Always keep this case in mind, okay? Again, anything that's pugnant to the Constitution is null and void. Okay? Make sure the statutes actually gets consent from the Constitution. Right? The statute's got to ask the Constitution, hey, do I really, am I married to you? Are we one and the same? Are we in the right venue? Do we have the right standing to proceed forward in this? Thinking outside the box. All right? Always ask questions. Rules, regulations, and all that. First, they must be a victim before any government can come sees you. There must be a victim, or it cannot be a crime. This will be the People News. Bye, y'all.